I don't have time for a full daily review today, and I just want to make a quick video on, breakouts and really how they are the only thing that's actually, ends up mattering in trading. I think a lot of people, they read Al's books and the books are great, right? And the course is great. It's all really good. But there's so much information in there and you're getting paralyzed, because you're seeing so many things on the chart at once. And, it's really hard to turn all that information into actual trading. And that's why, when you read Al's books and stuff and you do it the traditional way, a lot of times it takes people in whatever 7, 8 years to really truly become profitable. And a lot of people can become profitable faster if they just focused on one particular thing. And for me, the thing that I focus on is, 3 bar, 4 bar channels. And it eventually evolves into discretionary trading is the thing that people don't realize. If you want to be profitable faster, go figure out what happens every single time we get 3 bull bars in a row that look like this. Go figure out what leg it is when that happens. And, I don't just mean, okay, go figure out, okay, it went up higher. Well, how much higher did it go? How deep was the pullback? What did the pullback look like? What does the second leg look like? Oh, look, the entire breakout gets a second leg. And the second leg is up near the high of the day. Why is that important? Why is that relevant? You have to go research all of these things on your own because it gives you belief in the type of system you're trading. And, obviously, as I'm showing that these are trades that are important, I did buy the close of 24 today. I bought the close of 24. I bought the close of 28. The piece that I bought here, I exited a measured move up of these 3 bars because I did a bunch of research. So it basically got out to the tick, I guess. I did a bunch of research on these 3 bars, and I found that when I get a shallow pullback and then the second leg immediately starts with 3 more bars, this is a good area to press your trade for 1 times your risk. So I figured out these things because I spent a lot of time just going back and studying it. And it's the same thing here. When I bought this close, I know today that there was an increased chance that it gets 2 times the risk. We didn't obviously end up getting the full 2 times the risk, but once we got these 3 bars, I was relatively convinced we were going to go up to the new high. Why? Because I went back and I studied every time we got these 3 bull bars. And I'm still doing that. That's what I want to do today. Go back and study every single time we end up getting those 3 bull bars. And the really nice thing about the trading this way is you develop a lot of confidence in specific areas of the market. So you develop a lot of confidence in the fact that you can buy the close of 24 and it's going to go higher. You also know it might pull back first. So a lot of the benefits here are you're going to learn how to sit through pullbacks, right? You're going to start to learn that 25 isn't really that big of a deal and there's no reason to exit below it. If anything, you want to buy more on the close of 25. And you're going to start to learn that you can see, channels within things. Like, for example, this sell-off here. I know that selling the close of 44 or 34 is a bad idea because it's against a tight channel. How do I know that? Because I sold the close of 44 before. And so you'll eventually start to develop a fade within what you're doing. So for me, the fade of the system is to buy above a bar like 41. Why am I buying above a 41 and why is that the fade? Well, that 41 is the point where if I had sold that close, this is the point where I'd be really worried and assume that my stop is probably going to get run. For example, this is a 3 bar micro chain. Well, let me finish up talking about this, but I know that this is the point where I would feel worried as a bear that my stop is going to get hit somewhere up here. And that's how I would feel over here. And so I know that I can buy this close and I have a high probability of getting up to this high. So you naturally develop fades within the type of system. And the problem is that everyone tries to make it really complicated. When people try to build some sort of system, they think they need to build, some sort of crazy elaborate thing. And you really don't. If you just buy the close and buy the close after 3 straight bull bars, whatever, there's your system, right? Go research it. You get 3 good bull bars above the moving average, you buy the close. You get 3 good bear bars below the moving average, you sell the close. Okay, what leg count is it? Go figure out everything that happens. And it's a lot of work. And the reality is you'll never ever finish it because if you're doing it correctly, as you're working through the system, you come up with more and more and more questions on how you should be doing it and how you should be trading it. And so over the course of, 6, 8 months, you start to figure out, you start to get really good at figuring out, where your trade fails a lot. Like this 4 bar micro channel system. I did not take this one at the end of the day because I know that, that late in bull trends, the 4 bar micro channel is a better fade than it is a buy. And so same thing with the 3 bar. I know that late in trends, when you get some sort of late third leg, 1, 2, 3, I know that this is a bad buy because I've bought this close before and I know it's more likely to go here. So I sold below 72 and I scalped out at the 69 low. Obviously we're getting this and that's great, but it's really hard to predict that specific thing. But the point is that that's how you actually become profitable with the stock market is you start to learn, you start to see, trade a particular system and you find all the problems with the system. And then once you find all the problems with the system, you learn how to, exploit those problems and trade them in your own direction. And, one of the realities is, I have whatever, 1,250 subscribers or 1,220, whatever, something along those lines. And probably 10 of you are ever going to be day traders. That's just the reality of the stats. Most people aren't willing to work hard enough. They're not willing to work hard enough for long enough. So, imagine, I don't know, if you had 1,200 people at your high school and you're sitting in your classroom or not classroom, like the auditorium at graduation. And, think of your high school graduation. And there's probably, if you had 1,200 kids, again, just visualize 10, and the 10 hardest working people of those get to be day traders. This is a hyper competitive job. This isn't something you're trying to be extremely wealthy. You have to try to be part of the 1% or the 0.01% or something like that. So just the reality is the vast majority of people are just not doing enough work. And so this is the closest thing there is to a shortcut. Everybody wants to be profitable quickly, but the reality is, if you're the fastest you could ever possibly learn it is a couple of years. If you just specifically did this and stuck with this one thing for years. If you don't stick with the one thing, then you're on path for the 7-8 year pace, which is completely fine, by the way. You're welcome. That's a completely valid way to do it. It takes longer, but I would argue you learn more, at least initially. But yeah, I'm going to spend my time tonight studying this stuff. So I'm not actually going to be making a full daily review video today, but just study breakouts. That's, Ali, has called the white paper. It's like $400, but it gives you all the information you'll ever need on breakouts. It's really difficult to read and understand the same way that Al's stuff is. But if you read it and try to understand it again and again and again, many times, again, you're not going to understand anything perfectly on your first try in this business. But if you read it again and again and again, you are eventually going to get the hang of it. It's just inevitable, but you have to continue to try. All right, that's going to be it for this video.